Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We can start with a short Buddhist chant, which I'll chant. So we've been listening to some Buddhist chanting from the Mahayana tradition. We tend to use Sanskrit language. I'll give a short Buddhist chant from Theravada Buddhism in the Pali language. This is basically a homage, paying homage to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. So welcome to our retreat day, and certainly welcome for all of us here and those that are connecting online from various places, even maybe different countries as well. So an opportunity to use this time to develop and deepen, refine our meditation practice, and especially in the context of the 10 spiritual virtues, which I'll be talking a little bit about. But also to remember that this is Father's Day, so that we all have had fathers. Many of us fathers are no longer alive, but the memories of them will remain. And there's a number of people that weren't able to make it today because attending Father's Day gatherings. We'll be finishing at 12:30 so that you may then have time to be going to visit your father or family if they're still around. And certainly to also have a sense of appreciation for fathers, because obviously no matter how they have been, who they are or who they were, the fact is that we're now here on a Sunday doing some meditation, which so something has worked out right. The Buddha said that one of the greatest things a human being can do is to take time to cultivate the quality of one's consciousness. So meditation. So we're doing something very, very wonderful. And in that sense, may the merit, the blessings, the goodness, the good karma of what we're doing over this retreat session this morning, we can even dedicate that to our fathers. Even if our fathers have no sense of what meditation might be, what Buddhism might be, still there's a connection back to the fact that our fathers have been instrumental in us being able to be here this day. Certainly I have fond memories of my father, who's no longer alive, but he was instrumental in me connecting to Buddhism and also becoming a Buddhist monk. So he was very proud of that, and he'd be proud that his interest and practice of Buddhism continues with myself, and then sharing that with others. So at the end of our session, we'll finish at 12:30. We'll have a short meditation to finish up with, and dedication of merit, which we can dedicate, if you like, to your father, and anyone else that you feel that you want to sort of share that good energy, goodwill with. So to come back to our session today, which is one of four retreat days in the context of what we're calling the Vassa Retreat. So many of you were here for the last session and the session before that. So we started on July, the full moon of July, and this Vassa retreat period goes through until the full moon of October. Traditionally a period that monastics, monks and nuns determined to stay in a monastery or Buddhist center, or some place that they're going to stay or reside for the 3-month period to develop and deepen their meditation. Also time for studying Buddhist teachings, Buddhist scriptures, learning, and fundamentally more of a quieter retreat period of time, which is difficult for us lay people to take 3 months off from work on family and so forth. So what we're having is a non-residential retreat. So coming here once a month for the Sunday sessions, as well as Thursday evening drop-in meditation group. Many of you do come to that, and also some connecting online for that as well. So this block of time, 90 days around, 3 months, 12 weeks, a great time to develop some healthy practices, perspectives, appreciations, developing, deepening our meditation. And over those 3 months, reminding ourselves of what's really important, so that can then continue on into the months after the Vassa Retreat, all through until next July, when we can have the next Vassa Retreat period. So when I was a Buddhist monk, which I was for 11 years, I really enjoyed the Vassa Retreat period, because there was less activity in the monastery, less comings and goings, and sort of being able to consolidate one's practice, and also experience challenges. Sometimes the abbot, senior monk, would create challenges, so that rather than getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning bell went at 2 o'clock in the morning. Or rather than the meal being served in seniority, which is nice once you become a bit more senior as a monk. So you might be, you get the food coming down, various curries and so forth. You might be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in line, as opposed to 25, 26 down the end where there's sort of not much left. But sometimes you change it around so that the people down the other end, the novices, the people that were just arrived recently, they get all the nice food. Just to sort of notice one's attachment to having things a certain way. But again, the Vassa period which continues until the full moon of next month, so we've got another month to go, and see what you can do to enhance your meditation practice, which is a way enhancing the quality of our mind, and therefore the quality of our life. Because as we can appreciate, that the whole experience of life is mediated through our mind. And so if the mind is sort of distracted, distorted, distressed, depressed, diminished, that affects how we then perceive and receive experience. So to spend time, ideally daily, to look into and to look after our mind, to cleanse the lens of perception, like our glasses, that then affect how we see and perceive experience. Really, really helpful. And obviously this then reduces stress, angst, suffering. So even if it was just 20 to 30 minutes a day, that enhances the other 23 and a half hours of the day. Even our sleep is enhanced by having some meditation, because it flows on into being more mindful in what we're doing, saying, experiencing, and so forth. So something most worthwhile. So today, a chance to spend our morning to develop and deepen our meditation practice, and also with our theme of the spiritual virtues, or the Paramita, the Buddhist word for spiritual virtues. We can also see them as maybe a blessing, because by engaging these 10 virtues, also on the chart here, it's a blessing for ourselves. So we're using these rather than their opposites, the negative qualities and traits. We're using and interfacing these so that it's helpful for us, and also helpful for those that we connect with. Even things that we connect with, being a bit more patient with the computer, or being a bit more kind towards the car, or our clothes, and anything that can be affected. So if we're more kind and gentle and patient with it, it's going to respond better to us as well. So these 10, the Buddha recommended these as qualities, virtues, blessings to develop. And one of the reasons is this, that they certainly reduce our stress and suffering if we're engaging these. So life becomes this ongoing opportunity to, rather than getting caught up clinging, condemning, reacting, resisting, denying, distracting, these psychological interfaces that are not so helpful, we're able to use these, and so life is easier. Life becomes meaningful. Every situation is an opportunity to engage and use some of these qualities. maybe one in particular, or maybe a number of them together. So they become like a psycho-spiritual medicine. So we become a bit like a psycho-spiritual chemist or an apothecary, sort of making up the mixture. Okay, we're going to need a big dose of patience for this situation today. We're going to need a half dose of kindness, a three-quarter dose of determination or resolve to get through. And so that we can even plan how we're going to engage in an experience, which also lends a sense of confidence and support to ourselves. So that's one great reason, giving a sense of joy and meaning to experience. So nothing gets wasted. Every experience is an opportunity to develop and grow in these. Secondly, they become part of our character, so that we grow out of the negative traits, that these become how we interface and relate to experience. They become who and what and how we are, how we might even describe ourselves, how others might describe us. She's very patient and kind and generous and supportive and so forth. Thirdly, there also are qualities that lead to enlightenment. So the goal in Buddhist practice is full, complete, final psycho-spiritual freedom. The mind completely freed from being caught up in things that cause suffering, fundamentally the three ills: greed, anger, and confusion or delusion. And so the unenlightened mind has these to varying degrees. And so like a psycho-spiritual illness. And so these qualities, the paramita, help to cure, help to heal, help to purify the mind so it's freed from greed, anger, and ignorance, which again becomes part of the motivation and meaning of our life. Sure, we can have other things that give us motivation and meaning in life, work and family and leisure, pleasure activities, but we could even go, but fundamentally, the meaning of my life is to realize ultimate freedom, realize ultimate truth, wisdom that then leads to ultimate freedom, letting go of being caught up, attached, clinging, craving, lusting, wanting, wishing, and so forth in any negative way, towards this ultimate possibility, freedom. And certainly in the context of Buddhism as well, there's the idea of becoming a Buddha, particularly in Mahayana tradition, the idea of not just becoming fully enlightened, but becoming a Buddha. A Buddha is someone who has realized enlightenment for themselves and without relying on the teachings of any previous Buddha, and also has perfected these paramita. And so because they're perfected to an ultimate degree, there's great power to be able to teach and guide and share and care and engage. So an ultimate personality or personage as a Buddha. So in Mahayana Buddhism, it's seen important to develop these towards Buddhahood. And then someone that has that aspiration is called a bodhisattva. Bodhi, enlightenment; sattva, being, someone that's aspiring towards enlightenment and Buddhahood. However, in the context of Theravada Buddhism, the Buddhists say that it's not necessary to strive to be another Buddha. That'll be worked out in time. But the main thing is to realize your freedom, realize enlightenment. That has great benefit, particularly for the planet that sure, the Buddha lived 2,500 years ago. They maybe weren't so concerned about climate change and ecology and the environment then, but we are now. And so if we can live more simply, have more joy and peace with simple things, then and be enlightened, that certainly is a great gift to the planet and to other human beings as well. So developing these virtues has many benefits, and you may relate to one or all of these three sort of significant benefits. But good to be able to become aware of what these virtues are, to remember them, even recite them at times in situations to go, okay, I've got this happening. Which virtue shall I call upon to help me get through this? And after you've got through that, then to reflect, okay, was I patient enough, or was I kind enough, or was I energized, motivated enough? So a bit of wisdom reflection on that as well. The last couple of sessions, we've looked into the first six of these, 6 or 7. So the first retreat day back in July, we looked into dana, sila, and nekamma, so generosity, morality, and renunciation. And then last session, August, we looked into panya, virya, kanti, wisdom, energy, and patience. And so that's 6. And then today we'll look into the next 2, which will be Sacca and Adhitthana. Sacca being honesty or truthfulness, integrity, let's say, and Adhitthana is resolve or commitment, 2 more important qualities. And appreciating again that we have these to some degree already, but the idea of getting to know these is to resource them, use them, apply them, and they get stronger. It's a bit like a physical muscle. The more we use it and train, then that muscle gets stronger. And the same with psychological traits and qualities. The more we use them, they will get stronger as well. And so they become like just part of our natural way of being. So today, Sacca and Adhitthana, if we reflect upon these, so Sacca, truthfulness, honesty, the Buddha himself said of truthfulness, those who speak truth and give gentle encouragement, contending with no one, these do I call great beings. So the importance of speaking truth. Also saying a word of truth, which calms the mind, is better to hear than 1,000 irrelevant words. And so the world can be or worldliness can be full of a lot of irrelevant words. A lot of inter-exchange and with people can be irrelevant words. Small talk can be helpful at times for connecting and so forth, but there's a lot of things that maybe are not necessary to say, and maybe even may not be quite true. So particularly with truthfulness, it does relate a lot to interpersonal relationships. So, but even behind that is the intrapersonal relationship, the one that we have with ourselves. So to go, okay, well, how honest am I with myself? How truthful am I towards myself? Particularly with things that I might persuade myself of, oh, yes, I do need that. No, I don't. Or I can eat that, or I'll just, it's okay to sleep in. I'm tired. Well, no, I'm not. I've already woken up. You can get up now. And so we sort of have these little ways of seducing ourselves with these half-truths that aren't quite correct, often for being able to indulge in greed, anger, or ignorance. And if we're committed to practice, that adhitthana, the sense of commitment and resolve, then it's like, no, I don't need to eat that. I don't need to go there. I don't need to buy that. I don't need to sleep in for another 30 minutes. I can get up now. So, and a sense of resolve to engage what is right and wholesome and truthful. So the more we're able to have that honest, truthful relationship with ourselves, then that can then flow on to others. Because so often, as you're fully aware, the thoughts that we have easily become speech. They're often self-talk in ourselves, but then they just, if someone else is in front of us, then we're speaking to them as we speak to ourselves as well. So we have to be really, really mindful of that intrapersonal relationship, how we treat and relate and connect with ourselves, then also how that flows on into the interpersonal, intersocial relationships with others. Because ultimately, if we're not being honest, with ourselves or others is going to come back to us in some sort of a way, even though it might be fun or pleasurable or whatever for that moment, but down the track we go, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. I wasted my time. I wasted my money, whatever it might be. So to see that actually, look at the bigger picture. Look at how you might feel about what you're saying or doing um, in a day or in a week or in a month. Will you go, actually, I shouldn't have been getting caught up in that. And this again it's psychological, but it's psycho-spiritual practice. Again, helping to purify and clarify our mind heart. The work that I do as a psychologist, which often includes relationship counseling, couple counseling, it's devastating. People may have been together for several decades even, and then when there's an untruth comes out, it can damage the last 20 years. Like one thing, a lie, it's like, and it can really shatter the sense of connection, commitment, and also the sense of trust. So honesty, truthfulness is very, very important. And again, here it's not just the truth as in like a wisdom truth. It's a sense of morality, integrity that the Buddha's speaking about. So to hold that and to have a sense of honoring our own integrity and not compromising that in ways. And again, probably all of us at times have maybe said something that wasn't quite correct, wasn't quite true. Um, Depends upon the intention behind that as to the karmic outcome. Sometimes one sort of what they call white lies. There used to be an advert on television a few years ago where a woman's asking a partner, "Do I look fat in this?" "No, darling, you look lovely." He's lying because he doesn't want to upset her, and he thinks she looks nice anyway. Um, but sometimes we can compromise the truth a little bit. But if we pause and are mindful, we can maybe find the right words that don't then upset the person, but the right words may take more words, which might be, well, I think you've got some nicer things to wear than that. Or um, what you wore last time was really great. Without saying, yes, you look fat in that. Because that might be upsetting. So it's finding the right words to say and to maintain our integrity and also the integrity of the relationship as well. Um, Again, sometimes it's not behavior that can be really damaging, but just that saying something that's not true, the other person finds out down the track, and it was only words, but it can really sort of cut to the heart and be really, really damaging. Which again is why the Buddha's recognized and sort of put forth that honesty, integrity, truthfulness is so important to have and develop, because it may mean that we are having to go without something, or sort of having to sort of own up to, yes, I did eat the last piece of pizza. It wasn't the dog, it was me. And so that a sense of feeling maybe a bit guilty, but maintaining integrity. And these all of these paramita, and especially this one, comes back to appreciating the importance of meditation. Because if we've lied to ourselves or we've lied to other people, then it makes it difficult to meditate. You sit down to meditate and comes up in the mind, disturbs the mind, distresses the mind. So it's about engaging these qualities so we can have a sense of purity of mind, and the mind easily then becomes focused, collected, concentrated for meditation. And with this one as well, the truthfulness, honesty, integrity, flowing on into the Adhitthana, which is resolve, commitment, a sense of I'm resolved and committed to maintain my honesty, to maintain truthfulness, to maintain integrity, as an ongoing sort of practice. Sometimes, unfortunately, people in their work situations sort of compromise their integrity with things that aren't quite true for the sake of a sale. Sort of the used carman type of thing. Buying a used car from at a sale yard, car yard, um, which not that one has to do that, just in case there's any car salespersons in the room. But it's better to be honest and upfront, and because otherwise, when the car gets sold, the person brings it back saying, "Actually, it's not working well. You told me it was working well, and no issues." And it comes back, and okay, so that things karma coming back to that person. But again, to have that resolve and commitment to maintain honesty and integrity in one's life for the sake of our own clarity, purity of mind, heart, and of the relationships as well. Also, commitment flows on into other things. Even the commitment to sit meditation might be, okay, I'm going to commit to sit meditation and even commit to not move for 30 minutes, even if that itch comes along. You can't help sneezing, but not moving. Just stay. If there's discomfort, just stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Unless you've got a significant injury, you need to sort of move your back or stretch or move the leg out. But otherwise, no. Just sit with it. Sit through it. Breathe through the discomfort. Breathe through the pain. That's often developing, commitment and resolve, and even insight or wisdom. To say, the pain changed. Even pain changes. It's not permanent. What is permanent? Nothing. Therefore, seek nothing, because it's going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. So to use resolve and commitment in other aspects of our life, and we can all probably bring to mind many, many examples of where it would have been easy just to give up and sort of leave. But no, stay with it, stay with it. It's difficult. We maybe resource patience as well. We resource some wisdom, resource some energy, and we stayed with it. And we got through that difficult meeting. We got through that difficult degree. Or we got through that difficult job until we sort of were able to find our way to find a better job or whatever it might be. Or even, exercise, get on the treadmill and I'll do 40 minutes. And after 20 minutes, no, this is getting a bit tough. I think I'll get off. And it's like, no, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. So many, many things in our life that we grow in commitment by having a commitment. I commit to this time or this amount or to get this done, and we get through it. And again, it feels good. It's part of our self-esteem, self-worth, and the commitment that we have, the resolve as a quality, can also flow on to other things as well. So something again that we can also recognize that yes, we were committed to as a child to learn how to walk. How many times did we fall over as a child, as a baby? Sort of get up, fall over, get up, fall over, get up, fall over. Even bump one's head and hurt oneself and graze one's knees, but no, determined. I will walk like the adults. And hey, then it becomes a second nature. We can walk, fine. Or learning to talk, or even more difficult, learning to read. Learning to read. It's not easy. Learning to spell. I'm still learning. So things like that we can be determined to get through and develop, and it flows on into many, many more things through our life. When I left the monastery in 1992, having had 11 years as a Buddhist monk, I was able to use many of these virtues that I developed as a Buddhist monk to help me to study as a mature age student, studying psychology at Sydney University, which was really, really boring. There's a saying that's psychology at Sydney Uni is rats, stats, and facts, and it's not very interesting. It got when I later on did a Masters of Counselling. That was interesting, and a lot more practical and applied. But a lot of stats and just facts, and also learning about rats in a maze, and what they're likely to do, and so forth. It's like, do I really need this? I've been studying the mind for the last 11 years, and this is like going back, even though the mind, studying that in context of Buddhist practice, 2,500-year-old wisdom, psychology, but still ahead of modern psychology, contemporary Western psychology. But it's about get through it. If you want to sort of stay with it, get through it. It's the commitment to get through. And so again, applying many qualities and strengths, these spiritual virtues, to get through various things for education, for other things as well. So it's about reminding ourselves of that, and even the commitment to maintain commitment, the commitment to use the paramita, the commitment to see the bigger picture, the commitment to reduce our stress and suffering, even though in the moment it might be easy just to stop and to relax and have fun. So commitment helps us with all of these qualities. So both honesty and commitment, they go together and can be very much resourced. So over our session, a half-day retreat, spend some time to reflect upon how you yourself use honesty, integrity, truthfulness, and also commitment or resolve in your life. So use as a reflection point, particularly maybe not so much in the meditation, the sitting meditation, but if you're doing some walking meditation, even as a question. So we'll do some sitting meditation and some walking meditation. Even asking myself, how has honesty or resolve been helpful in my life? And then just pace back and forth, walking meditation, and then see what comes up. Oh, there's a memory of that. Oh, that was really important. Or when I did that, I felt good. And in terms of being upfront about something. So use the walking meditation as a bit of contemplation and reflection time, if you like, or otherwise just pacing back and forth, 10 to 20 paces, walking sort of slowly, mindfully, calming, quieting the mind, being aware of the steps. So either just as a pure mindfulness concentration exercise or as some contemplation reflection as well, if you like. We'll have some time after the tea break. We'll have a tea break about 11:30. So after that, we'll have some time for any questions, reflections, discussions that you may have. Anything you'd like to share about your meditation, or any challenges, difficulties. So we'll have a time there, and then finish up at 12:30. Any questions quickly before we settle into some meditation?
Discipline and resolve, are they connected?
Very much so. Yeah. So to be disciplined would be also to have developed or to use resolve commitment to be disciplined. And so they may even be a synonymous sort of used together. They're sort of slightly different. And even a discipline, as in like a study, the discipline of this, the discipline of that, as a teaching, and even to be a disciple, they all sort of relate to that sense of commitment and staying focused. So we'll sit for about 30 minutes of meditation. And we've all done meditation before? Yes. And if you need to stand and stretch for a minute before we sit for 30 minutes, feel free to do so. Stretch your legs out. So having found a comfortable sitting position, aligning our body with some degree of symmetry, balance, poise, helping to enable an inner mindful presence. And we can make an inner determination or commitment to sit quietly, even if you like, to make a commitment to not move for the next 25 minutes, to stay still, breathing through any discomfort. That's why it's important to set the body right for the meditation, a nice, relaxed but straight sitting posture, body aligned, balanced, a sense of poise, helping to enable an inner mindful presence. Having our initial deep, relaxing, letting go breath. Breathing out any stress tension that might have been building in our body in the process of arriving here this morning. Relaxing, releasing, letting go. Letting go of roles, whatever roles you might have outside of this retreat environment. We don't need to engage them now. Appreciating that roles come with responsibilities, obligations, duty, stress, and thinking. So if we're not engaging those roles, being in a role, those thoughts that we have in that role don't need to be engaged for this time in the meditation on our retreat. We are offline, off duty. All we need to do is to simply allow the mind to be aware, mindful, attentive in the present moment. The present moment being this place and point of existence. In reality, we can't exist anywhere else other than in the present. So we're bringing and developing a here, now, knowing awareness. Knowing the flowing of experience in the present, and especially the sensation of our breath. Each breath is a reference point for the present. And before focusing attention on our breath, just relaxing awareness into the body, helping us to feel grounded, settled, centered, present. Noticing a few contact points, contact sensations, feet connecting with the floor, feeling that. Feeling our body connecting with the chair, the cushion, or meditation stool. Another point of noticing, just noticing, sensing, feeling, contact sensation. Then noticing and feeling the placement of our hands and fingers resting in our lap, making sure they feel comfortable, adjusting them if we need to. Also noticing the gentle movement of shoulders, chest, abdomen, belly as the body breathes. Also relaxing any tension in those areas, shoulders, chest, abdomen, belly. Relaxing and softening the belly so the body can breathe freely. mindfully noticing that soothing, gentle, perennial process, the body breathing itself, rising, falling, receiving, relinquishing each breath. Maybe also noticing our face, feeling the cool air connecting with our face. And then as we refine awareness, noticing subtle light coming in through the closed eyelids. Even though the eyelids are closed, there's still some degree of light coming in. Perceiving that lightness, brightness, color, patterning, or just a blankness. And even looking into that forward focused gaze into the space in front, through the closed eyelids, into the lightness, brightness, blankness. And even if we hear a few background sounds, not being distracted or disturbed by them, no need to think about them. It's just auditory experience. And the same with any internal thoughts. Thoughts as a mental image, thoughts as a mental voice in the mind. We don't need to engage into thinking, but rather using this time as non-thinking time to focus awareness, even exercising awareness in the present. Particularly feeling the breath at the nose, nostril area, locating that place or point of sensation, directing our attention there and sustaining our attention there. Feeling each in-breath, feeling each out-breath, while also looking into the lightness, brightness through the closed eyelids, and also using one or two mental meditative words in our mind if you find that helpful. Whatever words might seem suitable, like calm on the in-breath, ease on the out-breath. Calm, ease, calm, ease, calm, ease. Directing attention, developing collectedness, composure, concentration, leading to deep peace, inner calm ease. So just before ending this meditation, inwardly reminding ourselves to try and sustain as much of this calm, mindful awareness, keeping that going on into the ongoing moments, minutes, hours of the day and evening. And to end the meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. We can continue our mindfulness with some walking meditation. If you prefer to sit, then feel free to keep on sitting or to have a shorter walk and come back in. But we can certainly have a period of about 25 minutes up until 11 to do some walking, mindful walking outside, this side on the grass, or the other side of the house on the grass, or down the front, then in the car park, taking a space between 10, 20 paces to mindfully pace back and forth, particularly using the end points as points to stop. Just check in to see where your mind is. If you have been thinking, just up, back to the body, breath, standing, then turning, and then walking back again. So particularly being aware of the lifting, placing, sensation of the movement, the feet, or as well to reflect upon the two spiritual virtues, the two paramita for our session this morning, honesty or truthfulness, and commitment or resolve, how they have been helpful in our life and how we use them, or where they haven't been helpful, where we haven't used them as when we should have. So I'll ring my chimes when it's time to come back in. It'll be about 11 o'clock. So feel free to enjoy the space outside. So settling into our sitting position, the sitting posture for our meditation. Noticing how it feels to be sitting, having had some mindful walking. How the body feels. And also noticing our disposition of mind, mental state, degree of ease, focus, attentiveness of mind. Taking up our object of meditation, just the naturally occurring sensation of our breath, the inflow, outflow sensation of each life-giving breath. Each mindful breath giving life to the body and also alertness to the mind. Determining to sit for the duration of the meditation, ideally without moving, maintaining our stillness, physical stillness, allowing the mind to also become still. Meditation is allowing the mind to abide in its natural, fundamental nature of stillness, silence, spaciousness, without being disturbed or distorted by thinking. Simply sitting, being, breathing, knowing. Each mindful breath nurturing and nourishing mind, body, and being. Now, just before ending this meditation, inwardly reminding ourselves to try and sustain as much of this calm, mindful awareness, keeping that going on into the ongoing moments, minutes, hours of the day and evening. And to end the meditation, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. So how are we feeling now? Okay, good enough? Better? Well, we sat and listened for 30 odd minutes when I spoke about the Paramita. Then we sat meditation for 30 minutes, did walking for 30 minutes, another 30 minutes of meditation. So clocking up many, many moments of being mindful, being present. And also in the process, developing the 10 spiritual virtues. Even if we weren't aware of what those 10 virtues were or are, um, still, even just sitting meditation, where we're using those, we're engaging those, we're developing those, just by the fact of sitting and being generous to ourselves with some time out to do meditation, doing something which is really, really wholesome, moral thing to do, practicing meditation. We're not saying or doing anything unwholesome. We're relinquishing or renouncing doing other things. It's a very simple, simplified practice, meditation. Then we're engaging meditation as a way of developing clarity and wisdom, using energy to stay focused, being patient. And also we're being honest with ourselves whilst doing meditation. We're not sort of telling ourselves or others lies, and we're developing a sense of commitment to sit there. And then the last two, which we're looking at next retreat day, being kind to ourselves and also developing calm composure, equanimity. So just practicing meditation, we're developing all of these. Maybe we'll have a tea break, after which we can have some discussion and any questions or comments. So please feel free to have a mindful cup of tea or coffee, biscuits. Have a bit of a chat with someone if you like, make a connection. And we'll come back in about 20 minutes time or so. I'll ring the chimes again. So enjoy a bit of sunshine outside. These 10 spiritual virtues are also seen as, say, personality traits where individual people may be sort of more developed in specific ones. So even as a bit of a self-reflection, we can sort of check in, okay, of these 10, would I be more described as one than another? Especially friends, family would say, "Oh, yes, yes, they're a very generous person, or they're very patient, or they're..." So to see that they are traits that we all have to some degree, but maybe one in particular we may be defined by, and in that also being aware that there may be some of the 10 that we're rather sort of low in. And so it's like, okay, well, I need to develop that because I tend to not be very patient, or I tend to not be very energized or motivated, and so forth. So again, they can be really, really helpful for checking in with regards to our sense of self. And whilst in Buddhism, the Buddha taught that the self is nothing which is static or stable or enduring. The self is more of a process. It's not rather than a personal pronoun, it's more like a verb. The self is an activity, selfing, personalizing, self-referencing. And also in that the self then can change, so that on that more psychological level of the psychological self can grow and develop and be modified through the use of these. So for yourself, in terms of reflection, any questions or comments about any of them, and also particularly the ones we're looking at for this retreat, being honesty, integrity, and the other one being commitment or resolve or determination? Brendan?
Yeah, John, certainly been reflecting on resolve, and probably a little over 2.5 years ago when I made a resolution and a commitment to practice meditation every day, and to attend the Thursday meditation group and come to retreats as much as possible. And I've seen incredible benefits from that, and just an amazing improvement in the overall quality of my life from that commitment. So I just wanted to probably share with the group that it's extremely worthwhile to make that sort of a commitment, and to make the practice. For me, it's the most important part of my day.
Yeah.
Making sure that I've had some meditation. That like brushing my teeth. I won't go through a day without brushing my teeth at least once. So now I feel like it's that sort of habit there.
Yeah.
Even if it's been a hectic, busy day, if I'm traveling, I want to meditate at least 15 minutes of the day as a bare minimum.
That's good.
And just all of these other, I think, paramita follow along from that commitment. Having that resolve to make it a big part of my life makes it easier for these other parameters to grow as well, I think.
So do you find that having had that initial resolve, which may often need quite a lot of energy, virya, and sense of honesty, I'm going to be honest with myself, I need to do this, I want to do this, this can be really helpful, the wisdom of that as well. But once you gain the benefits from the practice, so there's less resolve needed. It's more just becomes
there's less
just what you
resistance
do.
to it, because the benefit of it. Just like I know if I don't brush my teeth, I'm going to have lots of trouble at the dentist. That's going to be really painful. So by maintaining the practice, I know that I'm much healthier, wellness wise.
Yeah. So you see cause and effect.
Cause and the flow on effect to my family, to friends, to the people I interact with at work. I'm more caring and honest and patient within. So I see the benefit to myself, but also to
life gets easier.
And everything's easier. Like you said, I sleep really well because I don't, I'm not second guessing myself. I'm able to see when anger is rising. Why is that anger there? And I guess address that versus letting it out so much and impacting others that way. So I tend to sleep quite peacefully at night, I think, because again, that commitment.
Yeah, that's good. And I was thinking about this as well when I was doing the walking. The resolve, even like for us to resolve to be here today, to practice some meditation, we could have been doing other things, but okay, come here. And the fact that we can be here, the fact that we've got these sort of Sunday retreat, sometimes a full day, sometimes a half day. We've got the Thursday night meditation group. which is a resolve that I've made to support other people in their meditation practice. That goes back to the resolve I had to be a Buddhist monk for as long as I felt I needed to, so for 11 years. But that goes right back to the resolve that Siddhartha Gautama, made 2,500 years ago, where he said, I resolve to find the way to ultimate happiness, to freedom. There must be a happiness that's not dependent upon other things, external things. There must be a way to transcend being caught up in this whole cycle of samsara, birth, aging, illness, death, then getting reborn again, birth, aging, illness, death, again and again and again. There must be a way out of that. And so he resolved to find that for the benefit of himself, his family, other people, left his home life to go and practice various yogic disciplines and practices and meditation to find the way out of human suffering. So from common suffering to sort of a type of uncommon happiness was realized because of his commitment and resolve. And then becoming fully enlightened, termed the Buddha, one who's found full, complete spiritual enlightenment without relying on someone else's guidance or teachings that was already enlightened. There was no one else fully enlightened at that time. And then the commitment to not just go back home and hang out and just enjoy life, but to commitment to spend the next 45 years teaching, sharing until time that he died at the age of 80. So that commitment, his commitment, is now we're sort of able to live and engage Buddhism, Buddhist meditation practice as a result of his commitment. So sort of the goodness flows on.
And Brendan, do you meditate in the morning? And how often?
Yeah. So generally, I'll be up at 5 a.m. and meditate for an hour in the morning. And then it's not always possible. So, I'll try to make time during the day or evening for at least a 30-minute sit.
That doesn't happen in the morning.
Yeah, but generally that's kind of my routine. I'll meditate for an hour and then I go and walk my dogs and then I start my work day or weekend day. So
So commitment of time and energy, but you're saving time and energy as well. Yeah. Loretta?
Thanks for today, John.
Thanks.
Just want to speak to I hear that we're speaking to the virtues of ourselves and cultivating virtues for ourselves, but when we're in the world and other people might not be practicing the paramitas and they may be dishonest with us or, ignorance, confusion, that kind of washes over us. In many situations and so on and so forth. Can you speak to that, please, about how to be with that when we notice anger arises, perhaps when someone's being dishonest in relation and so forth.
And that's a really good question because whilst we can appreciate the importance of living a wholesome, moral, mindful, meditative life, a lot of people maybe don't appreciate that yet. We'll go yet because hopefully maybe down the track they will. But engaging or being around or being with other people or being aware of people that are practicing the opposite, for example, they're practicing and developing their ability to lie, offer falsehoods and so forth. And but if we have samadhi, right view, in a more sort of a quasi-right view, like right view is the first practice factor on the Eightfold Path. Right view, which is really fundamentally an awareness or view of the Four Noble Truths. But we can sort of generalize that to a right view that uses and sees situations as opportunities for one's own spiritual growth and therefore benefiting other people as well, just by example. So if you're in a situation where somebody's not engaging these 10 virtues, you go, okay, this is an opportunity for me to be extra mindful and extra attentive to use them so that I'm presenting an opportunity for them to see that what's important in terms of morality and integrity and honesty and so forth, so that we're less and even not affected or infected by their sort of negativity or negative traits or bad behavior. So it's like extra effort to keep ourselves strong and committed. I mentioned before at times where I spent a short but significant time at a huge Buddhist monastery in Northern California, up at Talmadge, north of San Francisco, a monastery called City of 10,000 Buddhas. It's a Chan meditation monastery. Chan as in Chinese Mahayana tradition, Chan from the word jhana, deep meditation. And the meditation master, who's not alive now, his name was Master Wa. And he didn't speak any English, but some of his little sayings were translated. And one that's I've always reminded myself of, which is everything's a test to see what you will do. Mistaking what's before your eyes, you have to start anew. So that every situation is an opportunity to see it clearly for growth. If you don't, then you're going to have to do the same thing again and again and again until you get it right. A bit like the Groundhog Day experience. So that and with that approach, it's like, okay, well, even if they're not honest, I'm going to be really honest and maintain my integrity and feel good about that and be strong in that, so that at least I'm not creating any unwholesome karma.
Yeah. I notice that sometimes I notice about myself that there's strong urge to be right, and I have to, a strong urge to correct the other person.
Sure. Yeah.
And but now I'm able to actually notice it and smile to myself and go, there you go, Loretta.
So again, even just being mindful and being aware of the energy of that urge to go, just feel that. The sense of to show them that I'm right and that I'm sort of speaking the truth and they are lying or whatever, but being mindful of that, because that's a sense of self coming up there, sense of ego, and even just being mindful of the energy around that, just how it feels in the body. That urge to sort of tell them or show them and make them convinced that I know what I'm talking about and I'm right and that they're wrong.
I think it's quite easy to get caught up in the sort of spiritual knower. You talk about the ego.
Yeah. Yes, we have to watch out for that, because the sense of self or ego will find any way to sort of be there and sort of come up, even if it's in self-righteousness and I'm taking the higher ground, the moral ground, I'm the better person. It's like, well, maybe you are, but if we get attached to that and we get sort of puffed up by that, that's another thing to have to work on.
And then that becomes a spiritual bypassing, doesn't it?
It can be, yeah.
Thank you.
Do any of the 10 seem to be more difficult for us? Some that stand out as being sort of more difficult, and maybe not always, but it might be, okay, in certain situations I find it very difficult to be generous or very difficult to be kind or very difficult to renounce or to let go.
I think maybe I'm maybe a little bit confused, but the patience one, maybe I react terribly before I respond, and it's not a good thing. Has a not very good trickle-on effect.
Yeah.
With the people that I react.
But really good that you can be aware of that you notice it. Maybe it's after the fact.
Like now I'm only just realizing what I'm actually doing.
So good to notice, okay, I have a tendency to react in certain situations, even knowing what those situations are, or with certain people, and so that you're more wary and warned by yourself, and so that one of these situations, this person, be careful, stay mindful, be present. And if there's, you can often feel the urge to react. So maybe being impatient and reacting, saying something. And so it's like, just come back to the body, feel the urge, be mindful of it. If I can be mindful of the breath, or I can be mindful of a pain in the knee, I can be mindful of that urge as a felt sense in the body. And just being with it, noticing it. And what I call emotional alchemy. You transform through awareness the energy of the urge into the energy of the awareness watching. So from a primal urge, let's say, by noticing it, then more energy is going into the noticing, which then changes the energy frequency. So transforming something base into something wonderful, the whole process of alchemy led into gold, or anger into compassion. So that just through that, just noticing, being aware.
Yeah, with the reaction being too quick, unthought, I'm trying to run in and fix my kids on that reaction without even taking time to, and then respond, even if it's needed.
Yes.
I mistake my children just talking to me. They don't want a response. They just want someone to hear them. No, react. But I am aware.
And that's good. It's sort of taking parenting to the next level, and also being really caring, because if you have children, in a way, one is modeling to them how to be an adult. And so it's like seeing what one can do to model wholesome, healthy behaviors and ways of being, ways of responding. And so that's ongoing as a parent. Even like, you may have a child that's not a child, but a young adult, or even as an older adult. But if you're older as well, you can say, this is how to be when you're 70. This is how you deal with the body, or this is how you deal with situations or loved ones that die, so that one's continually making it an opportunity for sharing and helping children, others also to learn. Brendan?
Yeah, I think maybe last Thursday or the week before, I talked about energy and noticing, again, like reacting, being impatient, getting angry more easily when I'm low on energy.
Yeah.
And tired. So like this morning, for example, I was tired driving here, and there were cyclists out. It's a nice day, so there's cyclists on the road, and you're going to overtake cyclists, and this one guy kind of veered out, so I had to swerve quite a bit. And of course, anger came up straight away, and I was like, "Oh, why is this anger here?" I noticed that like there was somebody getting out of the car, and so I think he's kind of swerved to give them room as they're coming out behind the car. Probably isn't aware that I'm right there as well. So I was able to look at that situation and go, okay, is this anger that's come out? Where's it coming from? Why is it there? Is it justified? Reflect. Okay, I'm tired. Therefore, the anger is kind of just coming up on its own. It's not really justified, because the situation is, nobody's intentionally trying to get in my way.
Sure, yeah.
So I can just let this anger go. It's not useful. It's
Mm.
not warranted. So, but,
Well, the trick is, even if the anger is justified, to let it
to
go,
let it go as well.
because ultimately it's not helpful and it's a waste of energy, especially
Yeah.
if you're tired.
Well, I think, my point is that just that awareness of, okay, I'm low on energy, therefore, the anger is kind of surfacing as a habit energy versus, if I was less tired, I probably would have been more aware of the situation. The anger wouldn't arise.
Yeah. In addiction psychology, there's a term, it's called the Halts, Halts. So people are more likely to re-engage their addictive behavior, whatever it might be, when they've got the Halts. It's an acronym for hungry, angry, lonely, tired, stressed. So, and also we're less likely to be patient and compassionate and considerate when we're hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and stressed. Sort of go back into those primal drives. That's one to remember, the Halts. Do I have the Halts? Oh, well, do I have some of the Halts? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, stressed.
That's a very good point, Brandon, that you made. I'm very impressed with your work.
Oh, thank you.
Because we are constantly leaking energy, such a waste. And it's true when people say when you do nothing is when you waste more energy. It's incredible. And we tend to believe that to have more energy, we have to do something. You have to, I don't know, whatever people think, but it's a very good point. Thanks for reminding me.
Of course. While we're here as a group to reflect together.
It's like, in a way, if you are bleeding, you stop that immediately, because you know that it's bad to lose your blood. But when we just waste our energy, we just waste it. We don't realize that it's even worse than losing blood.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, the two most valuable, precious assets of our life, time and energy. And they're both limited in this form, mind-body form. So we don't want to waste energy or time getting caught up, getting caught out, reacting, and so forth. Have a Zen moment, just like, just let go. And I might arrive a few minutes later, but if I arrive calm and peaceful rather than sort of stressed and tense from getting angry and on the horn with the car, or maybe saying something and to somebody, yelling out the window and regretting it later on, and and again, it's coming back to appreciating the quality and clarity of our mind, so that whatever we not just say and do, but whatever we think, will have some sort of residue with the mind. So being mindful of what we think and what we then say and what we do in terms of behavior, because we appreciate the importance of a calm, clear mind, and heart.
I found after the second meditation, after the walking meditation, I was much calmer. Is that a way of moving energy out?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And people often make that comment, like both sitting and walking are really good in themselves, but also used together. So that if you did some walking meditation and then come into sitting, because the walking is a little bit more of a gross activity, having to be aware, holding balance and so forth, and then coming into sitting, it's like it just the mind becomes a lot more settled quicker. So that can be quite good. Yeah. And the walking is good to dissipate some restless energy, or if one's feeling a bit tired, then you can get more energized with the walking as well, even walking a little bit faster. Also, if there's pain in the body, the walking can help to sort of move out the pain. Or sometimes people might have a bit of a anxious or depressed mental state, so the walking can be helpful as well as quite a physical thing to focus on. Sometimes if people are too anxious or too sort of low mood depressed, sitting meditation is not so good because you get caught up in the negativity thinking. But the walking, you need to maintain mindfulness with that. If you have a walking space that you can see is clear, no one's going to walk in front of you, and so forth, you can even close your eyes when you're walking. So you, and maybe at the end you've got a marker, a stick or something that, okay, I can feel the stick, I can turn around. And so extra mindfulness if you're walking with your eyes closed, or even with eyes open, walk backwards. So not thinking about other stuff and not worrying about stuff, just focusing on balance and walking.
I find any kind of exercise calms my mind, basically.
Yeah. Mindful movement.
Yeah.
Which is why in yoga, the traditional yoga has done as exercises done mindfully to end up in the last posture, which is the asana of sitting meditation. A lot of meditation groups or sessions, they end up lying down in the last asana, which might be some mindfulness of breathing, but certainly sort of helping the body to become more limber and flexible to then be able to sit and then sit for a long time. So we can move towards finishing up, but certainly keep aware of the 10 spiritual virtues. If you want, feel free to take a photograph of the two boards, and also those that weren't here for the last two sessions. I did send out to those that were here a set of course notes, because this is a course that I taught many times in Sydney, the 10 spiritual aspirations, so that maybe if you want, you can leave your name down the end on the charts for me to send you the course notes, that 50 odd pages. So it goes through sort of each of these 10 with questions and points to reflect upon, so that then you've got the notes, especially for over the next month. We'll be looking into over the next month some of these, talking about it in the meditation group, and then the next session, the last two, being kindness and equanimity. So let's settle in for our last short meditation and dedication of merit. So taking this time to allow ourselves to settle, settling in, settling down, relaxing back into being. Meditation is practicing being, and even the sense of allowing simply being and knowing, rather than doing and thinking. Time out to be present in a calm, objective, receptive, attentive way, even developing a neutral knowing. Just calmly sitting, being, breathing, knowing in the present. And as we sit, feeling our body breathing, gentle rising, falling, shoulders, chest, abdomen. Being present. Here, now, knowing. And in this brief meditation, bringing some thoughts, considerations to mind. So seeing if we can feel good in ourselves for what we've done. Creating space this morning to be able to be here. Connecting as a group. Listening. Practicing meditation together, sitting and walking. Sharing some questions, some comments. Feeling good about what we've done. A very wholesome, mindful and wise thing to do with our Sunday morning. Generating good energy, wholesome karma, and what we can call merit. The Buddhist word punya, meaning merit, wholesome karma. And this merit we can also dedicate or gift to others. There's no end to the possibilities of sharing, dedicating, gifting merit. It doesn't deplete our good karma because it's even good karma to be giving our merit, sharing that with others as a wholesome energy. And particularly bringing awareness to the center of our chest, the place of our spiritual heart. And even imagining, visualizing that we can breathe into and out from that area. As we breathe in, breath, energetic awareness into that heart area, the heart chakra. Feeling our whole body filled with heartfelt energy, vitality, joy, and goodness. Then breathing out from that heart area into the space in front of us. Even breathing that out, visualizing as a light, a radiance, a color, a warmth or coolness. And we can also visualize in that space in front of us someone that we'd like to share this good energy, this merit with, particularly if it's our father, or a father figure on this Father's Day. So breathing in and breathing out through this heart area with the wish or aspiration, whatever goodness has come from my life this day so far, this morning meditation, that goodness I gift to my Father, whether he's alive or not alive anymore. May his soul, his spirit, his psyche receive this gift of good energy. May his mind, spirit, soul be uplifted in receiving this gift of good vibe energy. Breathing in, breathing out from our heart center. Breathing in, feeling whole and fulfilled. Breathing out, sharing that caring, kindness energy. Sending that good vibe, that energy, that good karma merit, particularly to our Father on this Father's Day. This psychic Wi-Fi, psychic connection, mind connection. And then also bringing to mind anyone else that you might like to share this good energy, this good karma or merit with. A partner, a child or children, a dear friend, another family member, or even a pet. We may have a pet that's significant for us. Whoever that being or beings might be, sharing this good energy with them, that they may receive this gift of good vibe energy, that their mind, heart may be uplifted, feeling happy and good within themselves. Breathing into, breathing out from our heart center, this gift of goodwill, good energy, kindness, compassion, care, consideration. Breathing in, breathing out. And then we can move our mind to be aware of everyone that's been part of this meditation morning. People here, there's also people that have connected with us online, different places, sharing the goodness with each other. Whatever goodness has come from my practice this morning, I share it with everyone. A sense of community, Sangha, meditation group. So breathing out that goodwill, that good vibe energy. May you be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness. Living your life well. So sharing the good energy. And as we breathe in, we're breathing in and receiving the good energy from everyone else as part of the whole. Breathing out, giving, breathing in, receiving. This interconnectedness into a being. Breathing in, breathing out. Sharing the good energy. May we all be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living our life well. And then lastly, back to ourself, wishing ourselves well, feeling good in ourselves for what we've done, especially the dedication and sharing of merit. A wish for ourselves, and may I too be well, happy, free from pain, issue, illness, living my life well. May my life be a blessing to others. A sense of kindness, loving kindness, care, support for oneself. Feeling good in ourselves for what we've done, appreciating our efforts, wishing ourselves well. May our life be a gift and a blessing to others. When you feel ready to end this dedication of merit, just taking a deep breath and slowly opening our eyes to finish. Thank you for being here this morning and sharing your presence. Thank you for your dana generosity. Helps to keep what we're doing going. Please do find a book to take. Lots of words of wisdom there. And also, hopefully you're able to connect for our next session, which will be on the 5th of October. That's the last of the 4 Vassa Retreat days. So in the context of the 3-month Vassa Retreat period, and there'll be the last retreat day that I'll have for the years in December. So it's outside the Vassa Retreat period. And feel free to connect on Thursday night for the Thursday night evening sessions here, 6:30 to 7:30. Or if you can't make it, if you're living at a distance, then you can connect online. You need to give us your email address, because Brendan, who's involved with the videoing, sends out an email with the link each week for the meditation group. And please leave your name tags here at the back or on the table outside, so that we can use them when you come next time. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and see you again soon. Thanks. And thank you for those that are connected online.